place right now where I'm spotting more traumas, more things that I'm healing from certain habits, and something I've never shared that I would like to share with everyone that is very important, not just for myself and my healing and my growth, but for everyone to for not everyone, but maybe anyone who could learn from this as an example. So, spotting one of the traumas I've gone through, and currently healing from, is the painful truth. The painful truth. Reason why I'm calling it the painful truth is because sometimes the truth isn't the thing that you always want to hear. It's not the thing that we always want to hear. And I figured one of the biggest habits I've had was avoiding completely saying the truth, going around the truth, or not bringing it up. Being transparent, being open, being honest, but around the actual initial essential thing that probably needed to be said. For example, realizing that a lot of times if I'm speaking of my past, I felt very afraid to speak the truth because there's been times in my past where speaking the truth was almost demonized. I was wrong if I spoke the truth, and I was wrong if I lied. I was beaten if I lied, yet I was also beaten if I also spoke the truth. And this occurred for numerous times, yet it didn't dawn on me that I was afraid to speak the truth because, one, I wasn't being heard when I did speak the truth as to whatever thing I might have done. Even something I may have done was wrong, I did it for a reason. We always have a reason for doing something. And so being able to explain the truth from this end was always something that was ignored. And whether I spoke the truth, it was there was a sense of feeling inferior. There was a sense of feeling defeated, whether again it was the truth or not the truth. As a little kid, lying so much to the point because seeing your father do the same thing and not saying the truth, and then realizing that what you would do, that your father would do, got you in trouble. So therefore I decided, you know what, maybe I should just speak the truth so I don't get beaten. Now, speaking the truth would not always lead to a factor where it gave me liberty. I saw the truth. I used to see the truth as something that was just as painful as lying. And therefore, to me, there was no point of either telling people the truth or even lying, or more so, if it was to avoid the truth and not even lie, just go around and not lie, not tell the truth, just not talk about it at all. So therefore I started avoiding things that I personally felt affected by. Later on, moving on to the future, now realizing almost that with small certain instances, even with people who were close friends of mine, I would try to do something along the lines of telling the truth, and it would end up bothering either a best friend, a romantic partner in school, and this is my younger teen days, right? And finally speaking the truth in a way where it was expressing my own emotions. And a lot of times when I would express my own emotions, they were either denied, not heard, or demonized. And therefore, when that happened a few times, it triggered me as a kid emotionally, and I refrained from now even doing that. Moving forward again, I've reached a place in the past 6 years to the point, 10 to 6 to 10 years, I would say, to the point where I did not want to avoid the truth anymore. I did not want to avoid the truth. So little by little, I started, instead of going around the truth, I started heading towards the truth. And then there would be certain factors where I would just say the outright truth. I would just speak exactly what I feel. And sometimes speaking exactly what I feel was from the other end of the spectrum, was or the other end of the person who's receiving that truth, was again demonized or wrong for feeling such a way, or more so a combatant situation where again the truth from this end was not being heard from that end. And in reality, the trauma was more so being from a place where, as a child, I was just hurt. I was just hurt because even if I spoke the truth, it didn't work. And if I lied, it didn't help anything because I did not like lying. It was stressful. I felt stress from when my father lied when I was a child, because I saw the stressful things it created, to with it carrying and being able to build off of lies and being stressed out and whatever. And so didn't want to do it anymore. Now, learned that even when speaking the truth, there's a very interesting factor. There's a lot of times we speak truth and we are judged by how we speak our truths. And that was something I've learned a lot, even if I spoke the truth or I spoke what I felt. So not the truth, just a truth that's coming from my end of what I actually feel. Because the truth is what we feel is the truth, whether it's from the past or the present, whether it's trauma that's being brought and that's not healed. There's a truth behind it all. And it's interesting because when, as a child, we speak the truth, we are told that is not nice. We are told it is rude, or we are told that is mean. Don't say that, but I did. But in reality, what someone says and how you hear it is not their responsibility. When a child speaks how they feel, that's how they feel. Yet we tell them not to say these things. We refrain, restrain, or restrict them from speaking the honest truth of what they are feeling about a situation, about another, or even about themselves. And moving forward with this, again, until now, learned that a lot of reasons why I've discovered in the past that I avoided saying the outright truth is because, just like a child, it was always demonized. Whether I spoke the truth, it was demonized in a way where it wasn't accepted. It was demonized in a way where it was wrong, or it was looked at in a way where my truth was not being validated. And this is the reason why I should not be feeling this truth. This is the reason why I should not be feeling these feelings. And so therefore I never saw the truth as something that was helpful in any way. Obviously, not obviously, but besides recently in the past few years, I've been healing and really doing a lot of self-discovery. But realizing that even lying was stressful, but also even telling the truth caused as much pain, because now when I'm confronting someone with the truth of what I feel, the response would always trigger something, if not the same, along the lines of being beaten from when I was a child, being demonized from when I was a child, being unvalidated when I was a child, being wrong, being less than, and again, these triggers when expressing a feeling, expressing a truth of what we are feeling, it would trigger a lot of things such as distance. It would trigger a lot of things such as silence. It would trigger a lot of things such as disappointment, sadness, and frustration. Again, all things triggered from the past that was not healed. Frustration because I felt like I was not being heard, because a lot of times when I spoke the truth and it was demonized, I'm like, no, but listen, what was really happening was, let me explain my side, because you only see one perspective. You don't see my perspective. Therefore, the frustration carried. Disappointment because the other end of the receiving end was not really listening. They were allowing their emotions and ego to taint what was being heard. Therefore, everything I said was wrong. Sad because I want to tell the truth and I enjoy, it feels nice to tell the truth. And when I did, it was almost, I've never gotten any praise for it. I've never received any positive reinforcement behind telling the truth. So I saw no good in telling the truth, because it seemed more destructive than productive at all. Distant because when I would tell the truth, the other person would, on the receiving end, would act completely different, and I would just have to distance myself, because now when they would respond, all they would do is just trigger, attack, patronize, point, your fault, and that was painful to me as a child. So as a child, I would be silent and just walk away, cry somewhere else, go to a corner, go under the bed, speak with my toys, play cards, dance, not talk to anyone, or the best thing I really did was hide the pain behind the smiles and the laughter and the jokes. And it's almost the same as it used to be 10 years ago. And realizing this now, because it's not really that different. It's not really that different in the sense of now I'm not afraid to tell the truth, but the truth is still judged in so many ways. The truth is still not being heard. Whenever we feel a certain way, when we are not listened to, that's us not feeling validated, and we don't need to feel validated. And we do not need to justify anything. It's not our fault. I realize it is not my fault if no one listens. If I speak and they decide to respond back with either an ego or respond back with justifying what they feel, but not really hearing what I'm feeling, it is no one's fault. It's just the receiving end is really not listening. And that learning about this, especially the past few years, has helped me start to understand so many habits that I've started to rewire. But also, as I was rewiring, I found the root of a lot of things that I never understood. And now I'm understanding, comprehending, and beginning to understand. And these things are important. Yes, the truth isn't always sunshines and rainbows. But the truth is not meant to be good. The truth is not meant to be bad. The truth is just meant to be what it is. That's it. It's only our minds or us that judge the truth and label it as good or bad. Therefore, that's what's causing separation within our mind, within each other, and our world. And this is important because when has there been a time when you told the truth, or when someone told the truth to you and you demonized it? Was there ever a time when someone tells you the truth, do you actually listen? Or do you respond back to defend yourself? Do you actually try to take a point to understand what they're saying by repeating so you understand from your point of view? Or as you're listening, you're thinking of ways of how to respond back, noting everything they're saying, and then disagreeing? Because at the end of the day, you can listen, digest, and comprehend someone else's side completely, but doesn't mean that you have to agree. Doesn't mean that you have to believe in their truth. Doesn't mean that their truth is the almighty truth, that you are wrong. It doesn't work that way. We have that truth, and we have this truth. Put those things together. What is that? I don't know. But we are the truth. Doesn't mean it's wrong, doesn't mean it's bad, doesn't mean it's good. It means that each of us are unique in our own ways, but without being attached to certain things, ideas, forms of whatever past or things we've been conditioned to believe. What is the truth? We've been taught the the truth is this, to be nice, to not judge, to not say this or this is me and that is that. But in reality, I haven't been able to be my truest self for many years because I've been limited, restricted, conditioned, domesticated to not act, be, say, do, feel, and think certain things. And I don't want to hold back any longer. I want to speak not the truth, but my truth. Speak this truth because in reality it points towards the actual truth. So, take this, realize, do you listen? Are you judging someone for whenever they speak a truth that they feel is okay for them? Are you demonizing them? Are you judging them, comparing them, disregarding them? If we were able to listen, do we believe that, actually listen, do you think the suicide rate would be a lot lower? Do we think divorce rates would be a lot lower? Death, violence, murder, rape, sexual harassment, and so on. Or simply just connecting with another human. If we really listened, I truly believe that we can cause more healing and connecting than protecting and disconnecting. Because all that will do is lead to a bigger gap of separation. And we already live in a system and society where so many things are divided. We are divided. Although we are innately, beautifully, through our natural new word, our natural content, are connected. Something to think about. I hope you are listening. If not, it's okay. It's a video so you can listen again. Thank you for listening.